Stark, a writer for the National Right to Life News, says that prior to 1973, the American people, through their elected representatives, determined the kind of abortion laws that they wanted. With Roe, the court took that power away from them by ruling that the U.S. Constitution includes a right to abortion, that it requires legalized abortion, and thus forbids legal protection of unborn children, regardless of what the people want. This nullified the democratically decided abortion laws of all 50 states. My purpose today is to persuade you to support the overturning of Roe v. Wade decision. Since I am in favor of supporting the overturn of Roe v. Wade, I have conducted some research to provide you with current and accurate information for reasons why I have taken this stance. After today, you will have a reason why you should support the overturn of Roe v. Wade. I will begin by describing the problem, then explain some of its causes, and conclude with my solution. With our roadmap in place, let's begin with the problem. Many people oppose overturning the Roe v. Wade decision. For example, many people are opposed to the complete overturn of Roe v. Wade. According to Hannah Fingerhut, who wrote an article for the Pew Research Center, she stated 69% of Americans say the historic ruling should not be completely overturned. The surveys conducted in 2003, 2013, and 2016 all show a growing trend of people opposed to the overturning Roe v. Wade. Most of the population stated why they are opposed is because some states are making it too difficult rather than too easy for people to get an abortion. Okay? Technical difficulties. Here is a graph showing the abortion mortalities from the Alan Guttmacher Institute. For example, support for keeping the Roe v. Wade decision in place is growing stronger. According to Carrie Ann Dan's July 23, 2018 article, NBC/WSJ poll, support for Roe v. Wade hit its new high, published on NBCnews.com. People supporting the ruling included 88% of Democrats, 76% of independents, and a majority 52% of Republicans. In other words, more than half of all the Americans support keeping the Roe v. Wade decision as is. With the problem in mind, let's examine some causes. The first reason is based on the belief that a woman has a right to decide what happens to her body. According to Sandra M. Alters, author of the Roe v. Wade decision should not be altered, described the 1973 verdict by saying, "The decision recognized women's equal standing with men to make decisions about their own bodies and constituted a landmark step forward in the ongoing fight for gender equality." By doing so, she implies that if Roe v. Wade is overturned, it will strip women of a piece of gender equality. However, some feminists believe quite the opposite is true in this matter. For example, Erica Baciucci, who is a pro-life feminist legal scholar, wrote the article called Embodied Equality, Debunking Equal Protection Arguments for Abortion Rights. She states that women want to be as men. By being wombeless, it then causes women to reject who they are. Erica means that if we as women support abortion, it is another step away of the so-desired gender equality. The second reason is based on the belief that overturning the decision is the beginning of the end for safe legal abortion. According to Planned Parenthood Action Organization, in 1965, illegal abortions made up for 1/6 of all pregnancy-related death. And that's just according to official reports. Doctors think that the actual number was a lot higher. They believe that if Roe v. Wade is overturned, it will make women resort back to unsafe medical procedures to obtain an abortion. However, evidence proves that this point is moot. According to Paul Stark, an author from the National Right to Life News, paints another picture. He states that antibiotics and other medical advances produced a dramatic decline in abortion-related maternal deaths through the middle of the 20th century. This decline occurred before Roe and the nationwide legalization of abortion, which had no apparent effect on maternal mortality rates. Paul goes even further by making the claim that there is absolutely no evidence that new limits on abortion within the U.S. would start a health disaster. This proves that even though many would like to put the decline of abortion-related maternal deaths on Roe versus Wade, it's simply not true. With the problem and causes covered, let's move on to the solution. The solution, which is to overturn Roe versus Wade, provides us with two benefits. The first benefit is that it will be another win for women's rights. As Erica Bacciocchi writes in her article, "I'm a feminist against abortion," she states, as pro-life feminists have long argued, the undisciplined, testosterone-driven male liberal interested in no strings attached sex benefits most from an abortion permissive culture. Erica says when we as women stand up and reject abortion, we will not just be mere pleasure providers, as she puts it, an object of male aggressive demands. In other words, when women object abortion, it's the epitome of feminism. The second benefit is that it will give Americans back their legislative authority. Paul Stark says that in the immediate wake of the overturn of Roe versus Wade, some states will keep the policies of abortion on demand. Other states will provide substantial legal protection for the unborn. Many states might fall somewhere in the middle. Paul believes that with the overturn, the abortion policy will then be left to the democratic process. Therefore, it returns the power to us. This is beneficial to the American people. It provides us with the power to decide what should and what should not be allowed in the state that we live. Let me conclude with saying that the reasons for supporting the overturning Roe versus Wade far outweigh the reasons not to. Now, let's review what we've learned today. First, we learned why many people oppose overturning the Roe versus Wade decision. They believe most citizens are on the side of opposing the overturn of Roe versus Wade, and then we discussed some statistics regarding the opposition of overturning the verdict. Next, we learned about two primary reasons why people oppose the overturn of Roe versus Wade, and why those reasons are irrelevant. The first reason was that people believe if Roe versus Wade is overturned, it will be a step back for gender equality. However, Erica Bacciocchi dismisses this argument by giving evidence about how abortion is against gender equality. The second reason is based on the belief that overturning the decision is the beginning of the end for safe, legal abortion. Paul Stark opposes this belief by explaining that the decline in maternal deaths during abortion happened before the ruling of Roe versus Wade. Finally, we learned about the benefits if Roe versus Wade is overturned. The first benefit is that it will be another win for women's rights. The second, that it will give Americans back their legislative authority. Today, I have given you many reasons why you should support the overturn of Roe versus Wade. Paul Stark, a writer for the National Right to Life News, says that prior to 1973, their American people, through their elected representatives, determined the kind of abortion laws they wanted. With Roe, the court took that power away from them by ruling that the U.S. Constitution includes a right to abortion, that it requires legalized abortion, and thus forbids legal protection of unborn children. Regardless of what people want, this nullified the democratically decided abortion laws of all 50 states. Now is the time for us to fully support this momentous decision in our country's history by supporting the overturn of the Roe versus Wade bill.